a decade, the FaithBridge mission has been to promote understanding and respect. Respect among relationships and among diverse religious communities in Northern Illinois, and to advance the diversity for the common good. FaithBridge is an organization that seeks to build a world on a sure foundation of mutual respect, openness, and trust. Each of us must find a way to live our faith with integrity and allow others to do the same. Our different religious traditions teach us the importance of good relationships. They are characterized by honesty, compassion, and generosity of spirit. Harran Production Foundation and FaithBridge have worked together for several years, weaving a human fabric of deeper understanding through our desire to share with the world that peace is possible. This aspiration also represents the lifelong commitment of our founder, Dr. Shakila Hassan. This is the second Sounds of Faith production in the Northwest suburbs. Through the goodwill, vision, and hard work of our faith communities, we have assembled the youth of various traditions in this place to share the reality of hope, the possibility of healing, and the assurance for a better tomorrow. In days to come, the sounds of faith generated by our young performers tonight will resonate in New York, Amman, Jerusalem, and around the world. We thank you for all those persons who have contributed in any way to make this joyous event possible. Your giving is truly from the heart, and we affirm at this moment now that all the gifts that have brought this evening to fruition have come through His grace. They have come from God. And now it is my privilege to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, the Reverend Dr. Zena Jacques, Senior Pastor of the Community Church of Barrington. Let's give her that warm Raue welcome. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Shante. Peace. Yes, greetings and peace to everyone. Tonight, three important streams of interfaith peacemaking converge, and only in this hall. World Interfaith Harmony Week, which began in Amman, Jordan in 2010 as a result of the initiative of His Highness King Abdullah II of Jordan, has grown to more than 1,000 events all around the world. These include everything from interfaith conferences to interfaith yoga practices. But our concert tonight is the first of 2018, and it may be the only one to deeply engage the children of our faith communities. A second stream originated here in Chicago in the mind of Dr. Shakila Hassan, Professor Emeritus at the University of Chicago. After her involvement in several nationally broadcast documentary films on contemporary religious identity, with advisors from diverse backgrounds, she created Harran Productions. This foundation is meant to share experiences of cultural celebration and sacred sound. The signature initiative of the foundation has been Sounds of Faith. The very first concert was held in Chicago's Rockefeller Chapel. I'm Baptist, so was Rockefeller. Today's program is the 18th major event in this now international movement. That's worth a hand clap of praise. And the third stream, of course, began as an interfaith potluck right here in Crystal Lake in 2007. That was the coming of faith communities, FaithBridge. So tonight, these three streams join here at the Raue Center for the Arts. Over 170 children and youth from 5 different faith traditions have come together to share the sounds of their communities, their faith, and to sing together in the sweet sound of unity.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة
أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله
حي على الصلاة
حي على الصلاة
حي على الفلاح
The first ensemble to sing for us is the Nasheed Club of the Islamic Foundation School in Villa Park on their second visit to Crystal Lake. This group was initiated by Mr. Amro Helmley in 2012. The club is composed of elementary and middle school students, and the aim of the Nasheed Club is to provide young people an opportunity to sing and understand musical pieces with Islamic themes in Arabic and English. The Nasheed Club has performed in over 10 different interfaith events and venues. Their performances are sung and occasionally accompanied with the oud, played by Mr. Helmi. Please welcome the Nasheed Club of the Islamic Foundation School of Villa Park, Amro Helmi, Director, that they may lift your hearts and bless your souls. Won't you welcome them?
رقت عيناي شوقا ولطيبة ذرفت عشقا فأتيت إلى حبيبي فاهدأ يا قلب ورفقا صلي على محمد
السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله
السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله قلب بالحق تعلق وبغار حراء تألق يبقي يسأل خالقه فأتاه الوحي فأشرق جئتك صبا لرسول الله محبا بالروضة سكنت روحي وجوار الهادي محمد
يا طيبة جئتك صبا لرسول الله محبا بالروضة سكنت روحي وجوار الهادي محمد السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله يا رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Salam. Shalom, everyone. It's a recitation, Quran from Omar Masood, and the translation from Zoya.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير.
Blessed is he in whose hand is dominion, and he is all over all things competent. He who created death and life to test you as to which of you is best indeed, and he is the exalted in might, the forgiving. And who created 7 heavens in layers. You do not see the creation of the most merciful at any inconsistency. So return your vision to the sky. Do you see any breaks? Then return your vision twice again. Your vision will be returned to you humbled while it is fatigued. And we have certainly beautified the nearest heaven with stars, and have made from them what is thrown to the devils, and have prepared them for the punishment of the blaze. Thank you.
Now we're going to sing Mawlaya.
Songs in the world and every melody and rhyme. If they were combined, they would still be unable to express what I want to define when I try to describe my love for you. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. يا ربي صل عليه يا ربي صل عليه يا ربي صل عليه صلوات الله
gonna sing Insha'Allah. It's the last one. Insha'Allah means if God wills.
Inshallah, inshallah, you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Every time you feel like you cannot go on, you feel so lost and that you're so alone. All you see is night and darkness all around. You feel so helpless, you can't see which way to go. But don't despair and never lose hope, because Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Every time you commit one more mistake, you feel you can't repent and that is way too late. You're so confused, wrong decisions you have made haunt your life and your heart is full of shame. But don't despair and never lose hope, because Allah is always by your side. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Turn to Allah, He's never far away. Put your trust in Him, raise your hands and pray. Ooh, ya Allah, guide my steps, don't let me go astray. You're the only one that can show me the way. Show me the way, show me the way, show me the way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 you'll find your way. Inshallah, 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 we'll find our way.
What if you had the faith that you heard these beautiful young people sing of? What if you refused to despair and always had hope? We have been challenged by our sisters and brothers from the Nasheed Club. We've been challenged and we've been inspired. Our next ensemble is the Campanella Children's Choir. As they come forward, they were founded in the spring of 2000 by the current director, Mariana Kosaya, who when she was younger was part of Shedek, a similar choir in Kiev, Ukraine. The choir consists of 5 levels: beginners and prelude choir 1 and 2, treble choir, and concert choir. The first 3 choral groups are largely made up of Russian-speaking children who primarily perform Russian language songs. The concert choir, on the other hand, consists of children from a variety of cultures and sings a diverse repertoire that focuses on classical music. The concert choir consists of 20 students, ages 8 through 17, and collaborates actively with Chicago musicians, giving regular performances at the St. Giles Episcopal Church in Northbrook, Illinois. They will come to us tonight led by their director, Mariano Kosoya, and their accompanist, Diane Kaufman, and they will bless your souls. Open them, that the truth and the light may enter in.
No
Sacred text says, and a little child shall lead them. A little child can lead us in praying for peace, in praising. A little child shall lead them. The director of the Indian Dance School, Gauri Jog, is one of the foremost Indian classical dancers and choreographers in America today. She has been practicing Kathak dance since 1975. Kathak is one of the 10 major forms of Indian classical dance, and its origin is traditionally attributed to traveling bards of ancient northern India. Ms. Yog's command over rhythm, powerful pirouettes, and crisp footwork have made her one of the finest exponents of this dance style. She brings life to the traditional art of storytelling through technical elements in Kathak. She is very popular, especially among the younger generation, because she combines some Bollywood steps and yoga into the Kathak while taking care not to cross the boundaries of tradition. She experiments with combining Kathak and flamenco and Bharatnatyam Odissi and Mexican and American ballet. You try that. Since 1999, Gauri Jog and her group have performed in more than 350 dance shows in North America. In 1999, Ms. Jog established the Indian Dance School to promote physical fitness and through dance, especially among teens, and to teach the rich cultural heritage of India. She also imparts Kathak training online and currently has students from 12 countries. As you will see, her school emphasizes adherence to the classicism of Kathak dance and Hindustani music, ensuring structured training with a strong foundation firmly rooted in tradition. Receive the Indian Dance School Gauri Jog choreographer, the music director Yashwant Dio, and the lyricist Vasant Bapat. Come, let our hearts be inspired.
शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शंकरादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुर राज विनुत गुरुगुहं शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शंकरादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुर राज विनुत गुरुगुहं भक्तालि पोषकं भवसुतं विनायकं मुक्तिप्रदं भूषितंगं रक्तपदंबुजं भावयामि शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शंकरादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुर राज विनुत गुरुगुहम्
शक्ति सहित गणपतिं शंकरादिसेवितं विरक्त सकल मुनिवर सुर राज विनुत गुरुगुहं शक्ति सहित गणपतिं
Dance joins the soul to the rhythm of the music, to the sweep of the words, and makes of its parts a singular whole. Dance before the Almighty, dance before the Creator, honors that which made us who we are. Now, founded as a single choir in Hyde Park at the height of the civil rights movement in 1956, that was the year I was born. Today, the Chicago Children's Choir serves 4,600 youth who represent all 57 Chicago zip codes. The Chicago Children's Choir's mission is to unite youth from diverse backgrounds to become global citizens throughout music. Over the past 61 years, that simple yet powerful mission has grown exponentially with programs in 85 city schools, 10 neighborhoods, an ensemble for boys of Chicago, and changing voices with the world-renowned Voice of Chicago. Tonight's moment in the spotlight for you will feature the Rogers Park and Humboldt Park neighborhood choirs, 2 of the 10 children's choirs in after-school neighborhood programs. These choirs are led by conductor Daniel Wallenberg. Tonight, you will see conductor Wallenberg, you will hear accompanist Justin Bose, and you will understand the power of not only our future, but our today. For it is in the hands of all of these children who are being formed by their tradition and bold enough to share it with you and me. Hear what the word has to say.
In
What would the world be if, when the Chicago Children's Choir was formed, all of us of that age were singing in Arabic and Hebrew and Latin and English about peace? What if we were watching Hindu dance? What if we had learned those languages not because they were our own, because they were the languages of our friends, and we wanted to know them in the intimacy of their own tongue? What if the world had looked like this from its inception? What would today bring? May it look like this and sound like this going forward, so that peace indeed may come. Behind me, gathering now, is the Trinity United Church of Christ of Chicago. It describes itself as unashamedly Black and unapologetically Christian. Trinity's youth choir is comprised of two choral groups, Little Warriors for Christ and Imani Yawatume, which means messengers of faith. These groups provide the ministry of music for the church once a month, and they are featured on the current CD, which you can obtain on iTunes or wherever you obtain your music electronically. Featured on songs such as Abba Father and King of Glory and Stay Connected. The choirs are under the direction of Brian Johnson, Executive Director of Sacred Music and Movement. And tonight they are accompanied by Dr. Keith Hampton. Welcome, beloved of God, these little warriors for Christ, these messengers of faith, this group Imani Yawatume, so that we may hear what they bring to this evening of power and peace.
He is good.
I'd like to call Steve Shalley to the stage. He's been working on the leadership team for this concert for nearly 2 years and wanted to bring it to you tonight. You should have seen him back here just a moment ago. Couldn't stand still. Mr. Shalley is well known in the local community where he taught vocal music to children in public schools. He just told me for 800 years, but the script says 34, prior to his retirement. He is the founding and current artistic director of Voices of Harmony Community Choir. He teaches voice and directs choral music at McHenry County College. Mr. Shalley was the first recipient of the Dr. Marie Ann Voss Music Leadership Award of the McHenry County Music Center for his long commitment to choral music in the community. He will now introduce our special guest conductor. Please welcome Steve Shalley and thank him for his tremendous amount of work to bring you this evening of peace and joy and hope for today and for all of our days. Steve.
It has been my distinct pleasure to be able to work with all of these fine folks. And just seeing these young voices and young people coming together in a spirit of cooperation and sharing, and not a spirit of competition. It seems like so much of our world is based on competition. And yet I think we all have everything to gain from things that this becomes a metaphor for working together, giving our best and sharing it with everybody. Lee Kesselman is a composer, choral director, and he has been very involved in helping me plan this event today. And he is also currently the state president of the Illinois American Choral Directors Association. He is known all across the country. In fact, in places around the world, his music has been performed and sung. Even on the Grant Park Symphony Chorus album that they made a few years ago, there's one of his works that's featured on that album. And so I would love to have the young people come forward now to join us, and I'll ask Lee Kesselman to come forward.
If you're a film buff, you might know the movie Field of Dreams. And in Field of Dreams, this man builds a baseball field in the middle of Iowa because he just somehow feels like he has to do that. He doesn't even know why. And then these old-time baseball players who have been long dead show up on the baseball field, and the one comes through the vines. I think it's really Wrigley Field, but that's all right. One comes through the vines or the cornfield in the back, and he says to Kevin Costner, who plays the lead, says, "Is this heaven?" And Kevin Costner's character says, "No, it's Iowa." I feel a little bit today like, no, it's Crystal Lake, because this is part of the view of heaven that I would like to have. And as we strive to make our lives on this earth more like the heaven we imagine, it looks like this to me. And to spend a whole day in my world, they'd be even more mixed up, but that would take probably the rest of the day for that to happen. We've spent part of the day together, singing together, and singing is one of the most pure forms of peacemaking one can engage in. When you are singing with someone, you become their friend. You depend on them. You listen to them. They listen to you. And this form of peacemaking, if it were more present in our lives, might reduce some of the other strife and discord in our lives. I'm very grateful to be here today and very honored that Steve Shalley chose me to come spend this day with these young people and with you. It's really an honor and a privilege. It's why we do what we do, and it's heightened by the fact that these singers, these young people come from different traditions, different faiths, different parts of the metropolitan area, and they have joined together in a spirit of cooperation today. The first piece we're going to sing for you is a Navajo chant, a First Nations, Navajo, Native American piece called Now I Walk in Beauty. And one of the things that I love about many of the Native American traditions is a reverence for all forms of life and a reverence for place. One of the great tragedies of Native American life is that by being displaced, they lost the places they revered. And so this is a piece about beauty and about being in awe of beauty, of the created world, many people would say. And so we will sing Now I Walk in Beauty for you. This next piece, I was asked to write this piece, and I wrote it for the Portland Symphonic Girl Choir in Portland, Oregon. And when they asked me to write this piece, they said, could you write something that celebrates our commonalities rather than our differences? A piece that will help our young singers better understand that the things we share are so much greater than the things that drive us apart. Well, what composer could possibly resist that sort of challenge? And so I wrote this piece, Peace in the Desert, because I was taken with the fact that the beautiful religions of Judaism and Islam and Christianity were all began in those desert regions of the Middle East. And I think once you've had a chance to experience the beauty that we did earlier today of the fervent singing of the Islamic singers and the beautiful, graceful movements of the Indian dancers and the lively Jewish rhythms from the Judaic tradition and the beautiful singing of classical music by Campanella and last but not least, the powerful singing of the Trinity choir. Having experienced all that, we're aware that we sing and speak with multiple voices, and yet now in this large mass choir, we are actually coming together as one voice. So this is a text from the book of Isaiah. It's meaningful, it's powerful, and all those religions I just mentioned look at these words as sacred words which tell us how to live our lives. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's temple will be established as chief among the mountains. It will be raised above the hills, and all nations will stream to it. We'll sing that in English. Most of us speak English. He will judge between the nations and will settle disputes for many peoples, and that is sung in Arabic. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. That we will sing in Latin, the original language of the Christian church. And finally, nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. Those concepts of turning elements and instruments of war into instruments of growth and fertility and sustenance, of food and of community. That is a universal concept. No one on this earth wants to be fighting against each other, and everyone wants the latter. So swords into plowshares, spears into pruning hooks. These wonderful young people have really given their all today on this piece of music, which has its complexities. It is our hope, of course, that if young people sing together the words of peace enough, sooner or later there will come a time where neither will they know war anymore. At the piano, it's Steve Shalley, and in front of you, it is the collected single voice of youth.